Hello, welcome to Crimping Part 3. Today we should be crimping large cables. This is a 25mm CSA tri-rated cable. This type of cable is usually used in industrial applications for wiring up motors, but can also be used in automotive applications for car batteries, earthing, alternator and starter motor cables. It's very important when you're talking about this size of cable and the current carrying capacity to use the correct crimp, correct tool to achieve a good crimp. Otherwise, potentially you could have issues with overheating, burning, setting fire to motors and your car, which would be bad. So this cable has already been cut off, stripped, but I'm going to cut it off. This is a pair of backhoe cutters. These are great, just doesn't take much to cut that off. The crimps we'll be using are also manufactured by Cembre. In addition to the Cembre tool, we have a selection of Cembre tool dies. These are about £50 each. But it's very important to use the correct tool, the correct crimp and the correct die all together. So the next step is we need to strip the cable. Some people use a radial coaxial cable stripper. I prefer a nice sharp knife. So we take our crimp and we offer it up. So it wants to be enough stripped off so the cable conductors are just sticking out and pushed right up against that little divot. So that wants to be about there. So I'm now going to very carefully use a very sharp knife and score the insulation. Don't press too hard because you don't want to cut through any of the conductors. I think is it. So just give it a little push and we are through. I like to use my loppers and just sort of grab hold of it and pull it. Done. So now, before we go any further, I'd like to talk about the tool. This is the Cembre B500ND. This is a very nice unit. It's very impressive, has a nice electronic OLED display which displays clamping force and tells you when you've done the crimp. So it's electrically operated. Press the button and automatically retracts. There's a set of dies, one for pretty much every size of cable from 10mm all the way up to 120mm. So let us make the crimp. Take your cable, position, make sure you don't have any conductors sticking out. That's cut off a teeny bit long, but by the time you've pushed it as far in as it will go, you've got a perfect, pretty much, join. So position your crimp lug into the jaws. Make sure you've got your fingers out of the way of the jaws because you don't want to get anything in here. Give it a little wiggle. Just enough so it's got it. So then with one hand you can hold the tool and the other hand you can push the cable in. So give it a good push and then go for it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfectly performed, beautiful looking crimp. just in the middle, perfectly pushed through, strong as hell because that's been crimped with 6 tons of force. Any questions, please leave a comment. This isn't just sponsored by Cembre, it just happens to be the one that we bought at work. I'd just like to add a little bit of info about this tool. It's manufactured by Cembre as stated. It comes in a nice blow molded case. Comes with 2 batteries and a charger. The dies are additional purchases. It's not cheap. I believe this weighs in at around 2,000 Great British pounds, which is a lot. If you're doing this sort of thing every day and you're like a contractor or something, then it may be worth the purchase. But obviously if you work for a big multinational company and safety and quality is important, you know where to go. That's it. So thank you very much. Like and subscribe. If there's any more stuff that you'd like to see, please leave a note and I'll do my best. There will be some PLC stuff on the way, mostly Rockwell compact logics and control logics, Logix 5000, that sort of thing, on the way soon. Okay, thank you. Bye. Like and subscribe.